how to do this video, how to be sort of PC, which is not me, but it needs to be said, it needs to be done. And the big hot topic right now is remote ID, and we all know how shitty it is, how crappily it's being done, the reason it's being done, the corruption, the lack of care for us in the community, and how much we need to stick together. I'm on one side of the fence, and I think it's obviously really stupid. I refuse to buy any product that is that expensive, that is going to allow somebody to track me, to find where I am and harass me. And as a legal gun owner, that carries 90% of the time when I fly, because of where we fly, other than the schools and other places like that. We're in the woods most of the time. Wild animals and shit are down there, so we can pack to protect ourselves. And there are plenty of other locations that we legally do. And I tell you what, I'm going to defend myself. I am not going to be intimidated and pushed around. But again, there ain't nothing I can say that anybody else already hasn't said 50 fucking times. Go, motherfucker. Waiting for cars to go here. Everybody said it. Everybody's pushed the points. And I am not the greatest when it comes to conforming my thoughts and being PC. I don't need to swear and scream to get my point across. I don't need to say foul words, but I'm not okay with being tracked like that. One thing that I haven't heard is many people, or any, really come up with an idea other than what's been put out. And I think the only way we're going to be able to fight this is zero compliance. If ain't nobody doing it, nobody buying the stuff, manufacturers aren't going to want to produce these parts. They need to sit down. We need to come up with people that will stand up for our hobby, be the ambassador or ambassadors for our hobby, so we can fight, so we have a leg to stand on. We are a movement if there's enough of us. But anyway, I had an idea. You know, I'm not one that likes to disobey, break laws. That's just not me. Being OCD, I like to do the right thing. But I feel like doing the right thing is not doing the right thing here. That making sense? You follow me? I think it's wrong what they are doing. I don't think they took into consideration a lot of things, or that they don't care because of money and greed and corruption and all that shit. But there should be tiers for this. And that leads me to my crazy idea. Hear me out. And it'd be really cool if other people like it. Not that I can create this or make it fruition, but there's got to be somebody else out there. So I would say most of us, a lot of us, if you have anything that's heavy, we've all registered ourselves. We have an FAA number, legal registered flyers. So let's say we create an app. We create an app that you can use, kind of like Google Maps. You sign yourself in with your legal FAA number, so it's individualized to you. It doesn't have to show your name when you're out flying, maybe just your FAA number or whatever, an ID number. And the only people that can see this are other flyers, other people that are signed into this or something like that. So Karens can't get a hold of this. That's a big ass problem. I don't need to be confronted for not legally doing anything wrong. I don't need that. That's where I'm confrontational. You're going to come start yelling at me, I'm going to start yelling back. I don't go out flying and doing stupid things. I fly with others. We fly in safe places. It's absolute bullshit. Anyway, so you get an app. You sign into the app. When you sign into the app after your initial sign-in of who you are, and the only way you can get in this is if you're a registered FAA guide, let's say. Let's just say you are, I'm parking right now. I'm in an intersection. But let's say this is where I want to fly, and it's a legal place to fly. You pull over, you get your equipment set up, and you pull out your app, you sign in, or just turn it on, whatever it is you do, and it shows you the option for a map. You zoom into the map to the area that you want to fly, and you have like a draw button. You hit the little draw button, and you draw a little perimeter around where you want to fly. You set your altitude, height, your limit of what you're going to fly. Me, it's a rarity I fly over the trees. Once in a while doing freestyle to get an ending with some golden sunset, I'll fly above the trees, but 90%, maybe even 95% of what I do is in the canopy, in my yard, or under trees, where you're not in anybody's airspace. And this wouldn't apply to that, especially, obviously, if it's under 250 grams. But if you're under a certain altitude, like in your own yard, you should not have to use any form of identification or like tracking. That's absolute nonsense, and it's an invasion of your freaking privacy, to be honest. Because if people can track you and didn't know where you live, now they do. Let's just say, not okay with that. I like having my privacy and having my home not known to 8 billion freaking people. But back to this. You're planning on flying here. You go in, you circle the area that you want to fly, as long as it's not in a bad airspace where you need permission. You just do that, and then maybe hit like an activate button. And while you're active, it lets people know, or the proper people that need to know airspace stuff, that there is somebody flying within that area. And let's say you're flying with a group of people that are all going to confine to what you decided, 200 feet, let's just say. All those people fit within that. Nobody else needs to do anything. You're within the same zone. You're within the same altitude. You've got people physically watching you. So boom, there you go. So you could shrink and grow that map, and then you could see what's going on in your area. That way you're sort of being tracked, but you're sort of not. You're not putting your personal information. The exact location of the flyer's not known. My name's not put out there. And none of this crap should be known by the Karens. I feel bad by anybody named Karen. But there should be no app created that can allow the average person to be a dickhead and harass anybody flying. That's a safety issue, like everybody else said. And I'm not okay with that. And that is one of my biggest gripes. If I bring my young daughters, or daughter, one of them, and we're out flying, and somebody wants to come start harassing us, my kids don't need to see that. They don't need to see me defend myself or defend them. And God knows what anybody's capable of. All the other people have said the different scenarios that can happen. And it's scary. It really is. As a grown-ass, tough guy that ain't afraid of shit, I don't want to deal with that. But that is a frightening concept that maybe they ignored. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Somebody gets mugged, shit stolen, beat up, whatever it is. They're going to come after the FAA, the one that made these bullshit rules. I don't like it. The original Dobo did say something that really struck a chord with me. If you're running around screaming, no compliance, fish in a barrel. Yeah, it puts a target on you. And that wouldn't be the first time. Anytime you open your mouth and you're honest, you always put a target on your back. If it's at work or at home in your friend group, that's just the way it is. Unfortunately, in a circumstance like this, where it is a really shitty situation that really affects an F ton of people, we've gotta voice our opinions. We've gotta share what this hobby means to us and how much it screws it up. Yes, there are people out there making stupid mistakes, and if you could punish them on an individual basis, that'd be phenomenal. There's gotta be another way. And maybe, like I said, an app type thing. And again, if you knew where you were gonna go fly, and if you didn't have Wi-Fi, there wasn't signal while you were out there, you could pick that location, circle it out while you're at home, activate it, and then when you're done flying, just click it off, and then it wipes that little creation that you put on that map, so it clears it, showing nobody's flying from that area. It seems like a really simple kind of concept that might work way better. I don't know, with thoughts. It's kind of off the cuff. It's what I was thinking about at work today. There's got to be a better way. And that's what we need is more opinions and more options thrown out there that we can bring to the table, instead of saying, I'm not doing this, and that's it. How about, I'm not doing this, here's a better option. I think that makes a ton of sense. But again, watch the news. You see all of the crazy stuff that happens and all of the violence, and now you've opened yourself up, being a pilot, to being publicly seen by people, tons and tons of people out there that do nefarious and shitty things. No way. The money that I spend on this hobby, I work really hard for. Really hard for. I live paycheck to paycheck. I have a disabled wife that cannot work, and I have 2 young daughters. I support the entire family. I pick and choose, and I sell a lot of my stuff to be able to afford to get things, and there's no effing way I'm going to spend that kind of money on something that is going to track me and give out my personal information FPV guys, no fucking way. That is absolutely absurd. But instead of just saying no, that's ludicrous, I'd like to think I have an option that could be feasible. There are people out there that can create apps, work with this FAA thing this way that I think we all should, as pilots, if we want to call ourselves a pilot, and not just a little kid flying a cheap little SEMA thing in your backyard, that's a toy. Some of the stuff we fly and that we build that goes that fast or has that kind of distance, it's not a toy anymore. And it takes real piloting skills to navigate the canopy, to do some of the freestyle stuff that's out there. So I like the word pilot. We really have to pilot. We're in it. Even though we're not physically, we are mentally, because we see what the quad sees. So if we want to be considered a pilot, then get registered, be legit. And then, you know, we need to be protected. We cannot run around with this kind of absurdity. I love every video I've watched. Every single night I've spent easily an hour and a half watching everybody's feelings on this remote ID. We need to get rid of it. It is not a good idea. But 99% of the people are saying the same thing. There's a few people out there that will disagree because they'll want to make money off of it, or they'll sell merch or some stupid thing, but they're in it for the money, not for the love of flying. It's crazy, you know. There's got to be a damn other way. But I'm done rambling. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I look at my stuff and it makes me not want to fly if I got to go through this kind of headache, or there's a chance I could be harassed. And one of the cool things of our group is that we always go out with multiple people. It's never just one of us flying. Even in my backyard when I fly. And that's another thing. There's no effing way you're going to tell me I need to be tracked in my own yard. Not that I fly anything heavy in the yard anymore, because you don't need something that's 60, 70 miles an hour in a small yard like mine in a neighborhood. I get why, but you don't need remote ID for that. That's just common sense. You don't take a 5-inch quad if you have a tiny yard like mine. But it's mind-boggling, just effing frustrating. But yeah, like I said, even in my yard, my wife will come sit out when I tiny whoop around, so I have somebody spotting me, which is silly. I get out in the woods, I get out in a big field where there's other people, and it comes in handy. I love the idea, and I think you shouldn't fly without a physical spotter. We did a maiden the other day of our planes, and a guy was walking his dog, and as we were taking turns, and it wasn't FPV, it was only line of sight, but when you're staring at the plane up in the air, you don't have the luxury of looking around. That's how things happen really fast and really shitty. So each person that was flying, the other person was watching the grounds, watching the guy with the dog to know where he was, and it kept everything safe, and I liked it. But I'm tired, I'm done. Share your thoughts. I'd love to know what everybody else is thinking and other recommendations, and is there another way? What could be done? And don't buy anything that's gonna have somebody track you. That's just not safe. Not safe at all. Thanks.